Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we are talking about how there is more than one way to do something. I originally think I was going to say there was more than one way to skin a cat, but that just sounds really cruel. In the world of weight loss, too easily do people decide that there is only one way to do something, that this is the only way, this is the right way, and it's just not true. There's a lot of different ways to lose weight. There's a lot of different ways to lose weight healthily. There's a lot of different ways to lose weight sustainably. There's a lot of wrong ways to do it as well, although even that is debatable. In a previous video, I talked about how the most important thing if you want to start getting healthier is still to just start losing weight. And there are a lot of ways to do that. Now, there's a way that I think is the easiest and simplest in terms of, because there's so many factors to consider, but in terms of keeping up with it, in terms of it not being so extreme that it makes you miserable, in terms of being able to be adaptable to your daily life, and not something that's like, only doable if you have no job and no kids and no dependents and no other responsibilities. So there is a way that I think is sort of the easiest and simplest way to do it. So if you watch like my video on everything I know about weight loss, that kind of starts to cover the key points and I guess fundamentals that I think that you should follow. But there are other ways to do things. And I think what we sometimes forget is that the most important thing is that you are doing something. So too often, and this may resonate with you, we find someone or a plan or something or it could be anything that we think is going to be the new silver bullet for weight loss. And so we watch a video or we buy a plan or we buy a product. It could be a pill, it could be an injection, whatever it is. And we're like, this is it. This is going to be the thing that makes me lose weight. And we hit this period of motivation and with it, we go for it. Monday morning, we start this new plan. And after 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever, if we are not seeing the results that we want, we're like, this thing doesn't work anymore. And then we just stop doing everything completely. And we may do that for another period of a month or 2 months. A lot of the time it's like a rebound thing because what we did was quite extreme. And then the whole vicious cycle starts again. So, now you've gained weight or, you're back to where you started and you're like, okay, I need to lose weight. And you find something else, something different, something novel, something, a new person, a new channel, whatever to follow. And you do the whole thing again. And actually, if you had, rather than stopping completely, if you had picked something to do and then been like, okay, after I've done it for 4 or 5 weeks, not quite getting me the results that I wanted, but let me adapt it and maybe incorporate something else or change 1 or 2 things or look at different fundamentals and just adapt it slightly for another 6 weeks and then if you kept doing that, where rather than just giving up because that one amazing thing that you thought was going to be miraculous and change your life didn't work, if you just changed it slightly and carried on doing something, actually after like 8, 9, 10, 12 months, whatever it may be, you would be in a completely different place. Because more important than finding the thing that works the best is to do something for a long period of time. And actually committing to doing something to do with your weight over a long period of time is 1,000 times better than committing to do one thing that you think is going to work over the next month and get you extreme results and then just stopping, because that's how you end up in this stop-start cycle where you keep losing a little bit of weight, then gaining it back, or regaining weight, and then losing a little bit of weight and then regaining it back. Something is better than nothing. A lot of research shows that people who we know from research that people who lose weight on a diet, 95% of them will gain it back within 2 years. But actually, even people who stop that diet but continue to do some form of physical exercise seem to not regain as much weight as their counterparts who stop doing everything. So even that is proof, even though we know that exercise on its own doesn't really contribute significantly to weight loss, we know that even doing that is going to help you in some ways to maintain your weight loss or to continue losing weight. And it's proof that doing something is better than doing nothing. And so rather than committing to a program or a person or a pill and expecting incredible results for the next 90 days, just commit to doing something for the next 12 months or 10 months or whatever it may be, a longer period of time. And it doesn't matter what that thing is. So if you're not happy with something and you don't feel like you're getting the results, just start adapting things or changing things or try something else, but just commit to doing something. And when you commit to a longer time frame, like 12 months versus 90 days, it's harder to pick something extreme, because if I say to you, okay, you're going to eat no carbohydrates for the next 60 days or 90 days, you can kind of go, yeah, I think I could pull that off. But if I say you're going to eat no carbohydrates for the next 12 months, it suddenly becomes a little bit more like, I don't know if I want to commit to it for that long. So you might go low carb for the next 60 days, and maybe that'll work for you until you're just like, I hate my life. Because a lot of people give up on low carb diets because they're just so hard to adhere to. Okay, that doesn't mean that we can just it doesn't mean that we've slashed one tire's gone, one tire's gone flat, and we're going to get out and we're going to slash the rest. We don't need to just give up and then stop because that didn't work and that wasn't this miraculous silver bullet. Why don't we go back to eating carbohydrates, but let's adapt, let's do something else, let's look at increasing our protein intake and doing low GI index carbohydrates. Or it might be that you go and you follow a different diet plan where you start increasing the amount of resistance training that you're doing and upping your protein, but you're eating a decent amount of carbohydrates. It doesn't matter. Just pick a commitment over a longer period of time to do something, and you will see that results in your weight loss will change, because too many people fall into a vicious cycle of expecting something miraculous to happen when they pick something to do over a short period of time, and not enough people pick a long time frame to commit to something, anything, where you actually start to see results, because that's really the basis of consistency. And of course, I'm going to advocate for doing something that is manageable, easy to fit in with a busy lifestyle, relatively not extreme. And you can watch any of my other videos just getting ideas on what that is, and it will always start with eating foods that are higher in satiety, and that doesn't mean that you then have to give up on the foods that you do like to eat. So it'll be things like that, but as long as you are committing to making some sort of change over a long period of time, you will lose weight. And there is, for lack of a better phrase, more than one way to skin a cat. Now that's just a really not nice phrase. There is more than one way to do something. And anyone that says this is the only way and this is the right way could probably be a benefit from being a little bit more open-minded. I've seen people lose weight a lot of different ways successfully, and sometimes it's something extreme that then fades, but it gets them into a different, that gets them results, confidence, boosts their self-esteem, and then they start doing something else, and it still got them into a different place eventually. And sometimes it's something that's more slower and natural. And sometimes it's something completely out of the ordinary, which I've never even heard of, and yet it still worked for people because they still stuck with it. And so that old phrase of it doesn't matter what you do as long as you do something, and consistency is key. It really is. So don't. My advice, today's takeaway: don't just commit to something short term and extreme and then stop when it doesn't work. Commit to doing anything over the long term and watch your weight loss results completely change. That's it for today. We'll see you all very soon.